Yo, internet, what is going on, man? Welcome back to my channel, Flex, Eat, Repeat, because that is all that I do. So if this is your first time here on my channel, welcome to my channel, dude. My channel is all about fitness and just helping you guys out on your own fitness journey. So in this actual video, I just literally just have a home workout video that I actually did last week. All you really need is some bands, but if you don't have any bands, I'll give you some alternatives, all right? But this is a great workout to do. If you're still in quarantine like I am, I probably won't have a gym for like the next month or so. Or if you're just doing some traveling, right? You know, you don't have to just do your workouts at the gym. You know, you could, if you're traveling or, you know, you just like working out at home, right? You could do this. So this first movement here, this is actually my warm-up sets. But I'm actually doing push-ups with the perfect push-up handles. I might actually make a review video on them. So I actually had them at my parents' house for like the past couple of years, and honestly, I've never used them. So I've been using them for about like 3 to 4 weeks now, and my feelings are a bit mixed with them. But so the first movement is going to be push-ups. Now, if you don't want to do push-ups, you could do band chest press as an alternative, which is where you basically just do a chest press with the bands on with like a door attachment attached to your, you know, like the upper part of the door. But me personally, I just prefer push-ups just because I feel like the load is a lot higher compared to just regular bands. So you'll see here that I increased the difficulty with just using the resistance bands. The actual previous clips were actually warm-up sets, and the green band is actually my working set. Now, of course, if you can't do feet elevated push-ups, you could just de-escalate it down to knee push-ups or regular push-ups, or, you know, whatever feels comfortable for you, all right? But the push-ups are really an underrated movement, dude. Especially without a gym, you know, without like dumbbells or without the barbells or anything like that. Push-ups are pretty much, you're gonna be your primary chest movement. Now, the handles itself, it really just increases the range of motion. I think specifically the handles on these particular handles are like 4 inches. So, you know, if you elevate your hands, you could basically increase the range of motion of the movement itself. But this right here, I think this is actually my last set where I did drop sets. So you'll see I did feet elevated down to regular version. And then I think I've said this in my previous videos, guys, but drop sets are a really great way just to increase the volume, especially if you're limited by load, which you are in home workouts. But you'll see here I went to feet elevated down to regular push-ups and then down to knee push-ups, and then I made it easier too by just removing those handles. So now the range of motion is actually decreased or normalized. But dude, push-ups are a really great movement just for the chest itself, man. But I was actually wiped out right there. Moving on, so I did some resistance band rows, which, dude, it feels absolutely phenomenal. Because the thing with the resistance bands, you definitely feel the tension throughout the whole, basically pretty much through the whole movement. You know, dumbbells are really great too, obviously, if you have dumbbells. But, you know, I did this workout assuming you guys wouldn't have any dumbbells or anything like that. I don't only have bands. But if you've never tried doing rows with resistance bands, it feels absolutely phenomenal, man. My back was absolutely pumped. Now, when you do rows, just make sure you're pulling with the elbows. Now, a lot of times people, they feel their biceps a little way too much rather than the back itself. You guys got to remember that when it comes to rows, the back is the primary mover, right? And then the biceps are really just a secondary helper. So when you do rows, just pull with the back. Pull with the back, but like envision pulling with your elbows rather. All right? So, I mean, your biceps will still get worked, but you want the primary muscle being worked to be the back, all right? So just make sure you work on that mind-muscle connection, and you'll definitely like get a crazy pump in the back, man. You can definitely see here like me squeezing the shoulder blades, and I'm just picturing pulling with those elbows, and you can definitely just see my back working. So when you guys do rows, just do the same thing. But if you don't have bands, you could also do inverted rows using a table. I've definitely done that a couple times because I've actually just recently gotten these resistance bands. I've been using different bands for my previous workouts. Moving on, I've actually become a very huge fan of doing this version of overhead presses. So this essentially mimics doing a barbell overhead press like what you would do in the gym, or, you know, kind of similar to like doing dumbbell overhead presses too, but you're just doing it with the resistance band. So if hopefully your band is flexible enough to where you could do this type of movement. Now keep in mind I'm 5'6", and you know, so if you're like over 6 feet, your band might not even be able to reach this far. But just see what works for you, all right? Now when you do this, just make sure that you keep your wrist and elbows, you want them to be in line with each other when you're doing the press. So if you see here in this clip, my elbows and wrists are actually in line, and you could actually see me struggling, man. This is actually a lot harder than it looks. It might look easy, but trust me, dude, your delts and triceps will have, you know, a phenomenal pump. Now, I think this is actually the last set. I do a drop set here where I, you know, have a heavy band, then I just drop the set right to failure, and I just go straight into a lighter band. But, you know, if you don't have bands, an alternative would be just to do V push-ups, or, you know, on the floor, or if you want to increase the weight, you could do it feet elevated, or if you're ambitious enough, you could do handstand push-ups. Me personally, I haven't been able to do handstand push-ups. I've done wall assisted before, but you know, you have that whole stabilizing factor that goes into it, and me personally, my goals are more so related to physique, and I don't want the stability factor to, you know, hinder that. Moving on, doing pull-ups now. Dude, pull-ups have blown my freaking lats up in the last year and a half that I've focused on them. So, dude, if you're not doing pull-ups, freaking put them into your routine, all right? Now, you don't have to be able to do pull-ups, man. I mean, you could do lat pull-downs, or you could even do band-assisted pull-ups, you know, if you can't do a regular pull-up. Just work your way up, all right? It's still the same thing. Now, likewise with the rows, you want to pull with the elbows, all right? You know, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of people, they feel their biceps way too much. So when you're doing these pull-ups, pretend you're pulling yourself up through the elbows and not the hands. Don't put all your focus into the hands itself, all right? But yeah, honestly, if you can't do these, you could do lat pull-downs with resistance bands. If you have that door attachment, just put it on top, you know, the top of the door, and then you could either, you know, depending on how high that is, you could actually get on your knees and pull it down, or just sit on your butt, all right? Now actually, yeah, so this is my last set here. Now you'll see I actually have a resistance band there, so I'm actually gonna do a drop set here. So I'm just doing regular weighted pull-ups, and then, you know, right as soon as I take that to failure, I'm gonna use the resistance band to do assisted pull-ups. Because you guys gotta remember, that's actually less weight than a body weight pull-up. So it's just another great way to just get extra volume in and really push that muscle to like absolute failure, man. Let me tell you, dude, like my lats were absolutely pumped after this. But like I'm actually experimenting right now. Typically I do regular overhand pull-ups. So I'm gonna try mixing in neutral grip pull-ups, just to kind of like throw them in there, just to kind of get like a different variation, and just to see if like I see any results in terms of like muscle growth and whatnot. But I've actually come to really like neutral grip and you know, the overhand grip as well. Now moving on, this is actually the last movement, so which is basically going to be a tricep, which really just means back to back to back. So you know, I went from bicep curls here straight to tricep extensions, and then band pull aparts for the real delts. Now with those band curls earlier, you'll see, you could notice that I actually had kind of like my elbows a little pulled further back, so it kind of mimics kind of like an incline curl, kind of like what you would do on like a little a bench. And that really just like stretches your bicep out, guys, so you get a little more range of motion. It feels really good. Now for these tricep extensions, I actually got this from like a calisthenics video. And dude, it's actually feels really freaking amazing. You might be able to do a lot of reps at first, but your sets following it, trust me, man, it's a lot harder than it looks. Now, if you want to actually increase the difficulty of that movement, you could actually do it on your feet instead of on your knees like I did there. But yo, my triceps have actually been sore the days following that particular movement, man. Give it a shot if you never tried it before. And then at the end of this tricep, it's just band pull aparts. Make sure you really feel those real delts, all right? That's the only thing I can say about band pull-aparts. But make sure you feel those rear delts, because that's really the main muscle that's being worked in doing that. All right? But hopefully you guys enjoyed this workout, man. If you give it a shot, let me know, all right? Catch you guys later. Just finished that upper body workout, and I am extremely exhausted. I definitely got to get some food in me. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed that workout. For those of you who are still working out at home and don't have a gym yet, we'll definitely be back soon, all right? Just keep grinding. We will be back soon. But anyway, if this video helped you out, consider subscribing to my channel, or even dropping me a like, all right? Just do whatever. You can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook at FlexEatRepeat, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.